What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we got for you some exercises we love to do for change of direction speed. So I say it a lot, but your transitions are the most important thing when it comes to change of direction speed, how you get into that change of direction, how you get out of it. So these are some exercises we love to do to help with that specifically, those transitions, so we can get in quickly, get out quickly. So we're sticking mostly to lateral change of direction, not linear. So if you guys want that video, let us know in the comments below, but hopefully you enjoy this. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. We post new videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays, so make sure you subscribe to catch all of them. Hope you enjoy. Exercise number one. One of the most important things is going to be strengthening up the lower limb. So the foot, the ankle, the calf, the Achilles, all of those things are really important. Training the proprioceptors so we have that feel in our foot, allowing us to sense information, dictate body position. So the first thing that we're doing is going to be some plate hops. So we got two versions here. The first one, we're keeping it simple. We're just going up and down just like this. Make sure you get it going that way. So like kind of towards the outside and then also towards the inside, right? So I'm here. That way you get a feel for your foot as you're jumping to the outside, right? Having to absorb and then push back this way. And then same thing, having to absorb and then push back. So all of that's change of direction. Second variation that we'll progress it to is going over, okay? So I'm gonna be here, tap the plate and come over. So now I have to take that extra hop, try to land in the same spot every single time, but I take that extra hop, so it's kind of changing the surface that I'm stepping on. Once again, those proprioceptors feel with your foot, having to land here, that extra momentum, have the strength to stop here and bring it back. So we can start off slowly sticking it, and then you can progress it to go a little bit faster. Number two, we are going some resistance band lateral jumps. So I love doing these because number one, you gotta fight through the band, so extra explosive. Number two, it improves stability, body control, body awareness. So we're gonna start off in the band, keep this as slow as you need, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump off this back foot, land on this front foot, and then hop back. So I'm here to here, and then I hop back. So obviously this band is pulling me back. So I gotta fight here, stabilize, be able to switch without being yanked, right? And then hop back. When I'm hopping back, I don't wanna be out of control. I don't wanna be leaning. You gotta stay balanced during all of this. Stay on the ball of your foot as well, right? I'm here, just pop it back. You can see that when I'm doing it, I'm in control the entire time. After this one, we're going pretty much like a skater jump. So I'm gonna start once again on this leg, jump to this one, but then I'm gonna jump back to this one. Now this one's extra challenging because as I jump, right, I don't have those small hops to sort of stabilize. I got one jump back, and at this point I have to lock it in because this band's really gonna pull you. So what I say a lot, slight bend in the knee, really squeeze your butt, grab the ground with your foot, especially your big toe, right? When we kind of lock that big toe in, that just helps grab the ground, fires up everything in the posterior chain in the foot to help you grab. Number three, we're going diamond cone hop. So you've seen us do this before if you watch our videos. I love this exercise because we hit every single plane, but also this one forces us to start jumping backwards. So this is really great to work on that ability to push back, stabilize. We see this especially with linear change of direction. If I'm coming here, having to push back when I start my back pedal, you know, here, push back to open up. Lots of different ways we'll use this. So it's important that we actually train, like in a plyometric sense, that ability to go back, even if it's just like a backwards pogo. So we're gonna start here. We're hitting every cone, bringing it back, over, and like that. So I go here, here, back, over, and then keep it going. So you can just hit one each side there. You can hit the rotation a couple times, but the goal is just to be light on your feet. Grab the ground with your toes. You hear me say that a lot. Feel where you want to be, that body awareness, that body control. We'll hit the other side as well. Just keep it casual, just feel your foot working. That's the biggest thing here. Number four, we're going some skaters. I don't know why I have this memo right now. We're going skaters. So we're gonna start on one leg. First round, we're just gonna stick and stabilize. So we're gonna push out, stick and stabilize. Obviously, we're working on force absorption, withstanding that force when we land, going from one side, controlling our momentum. Obviously, if I push this way, my body is trying to travel that way. So I need to be strong so I don't lean this way, but I also need to be strong so I don't overcompensate, right? I don't want to lean this way to prevent myself from going too far that way. So be stable, make sure we hear knee, hip, toe, shoulder. Keep that lined up, that's gonna help you, right? You have to be able to be good, especially in sports, about being strong and stable when you're not in a perfect position. So even if you don't land it perfectly, right? Make sure you can adjust for it. Like I keep saying, feel the ground with your foot. Use your feet to help you out. So having the ability to land and then push out is super important. So for skaters, we got that first one, stick and stabilize. Then we can progress it to where we go a little bit faster. So here, just don't get stuck in the ground, right? I'm not going crazy far, but it's that ability to just land and go. So use the energy stored up in your tissues to be able to push, go, keep it kind of quick. And then the last version, the reason I have the med ball, is we're doing med ball skaters. So obviously there's a bunch of versions we do of skaters, but this one I really like to add that load, which is important because in sports, the speed that we're playing at, that speed right there adds essentially a load. It's extra force that we have to absorb and stabilize. So we're gonna be here, we're just gonna go from one to the next. We can start at the same where we stick it, and then we can progress it to where we go a little bit faster, one into the next. Number 5, we're going karaoke. So the variation of this one is really working on the ability to put force into the ground. So yes, the transition, like that into the transition, extremely important for proper mechanics, proper placement of foot, but getting out is equally as important, right? We can get in really, really good, but if we're not efficient getting out, then that's gonna be a problem. And a lot of the times when we get out, especially of lateral change of direction, we get into a running movement, right? So yes, we will shuffle, but also a lot of the times we'll hit here and then we'll start to turn to run that way. So what this is training, this karaoke is training that back leg to step over, put force into the ground, okay? Whether we keep going laterally or if we turn to open, we need to have force into that ground. Same thing with acceleration. The force we put into the ground is gonna help pop you out. So we're gonna start simple karaoke, just as you go, make it fast, but this leg, boom, whip it over, big step, force goes into the ground. Building off number 5, that karaoke, we are now hitting some crossover steps. So we got crossover steps and crossover jumps. So we actually posted a video a couple weeks back with one of our athletes, shout out to Stella, working all of this type of crossover movements. So similarly to what I said with the karaoke, right, coming out where we have that crossover, that's important when we're going from lateral to linear, for example. That's where we're training here, just at a higher pace. So I like to do this one actually after we hit the karaoke. So first things first, we're just gonna hit some crossover steps, just train that ability to get the hips involved, get them moving from side to side. So I'm here, boom, and crossover, crossover, crossover. So that proper foot placement, that ability to drive force into the ground, utilize my hips to generate that force, and to do it really quickly. After we hit the steps, I like to progress it just to make it a little bit faster, add momentum. So we're gonna hit one and then immediately back into the next. So you get the feel for what it's like hitting that transition and popping out with the crossover. This also helps with just your basic change of direction. So here and here, right? Hit it and get out. So you can see I'm kind of jumping into it a little bit, okay? Under control. If I kind of jump into it, that kind of helps pop me out a little bit. So I love that one. And then that leads us on to other variations. So after that, we can build it up. We can do it with a little bit more speed. So for this one, I like to hit a cross behind and then a crossover jump. So this one we often twist into linear, so we get that rotation involved. So I'm here, and then you just try to float, right? So that force that goes into the ground is massive. It helps drive you. What you're doing with your hips, that torque, that's generating that force, right? That is that force that's helping. So the more you use them, I'm not really having to jump that hard, but I'm just able to float because of the force being put into the ground, the utilization of energy stored, right? So here, and you just float with it. So after this one, we can also hit another variation where we go onto a box. So the only reason I like to do this one, number one, because it's super fun. Number two, I like to do this because it forces the athletes to get up a little bit. Some athletes like to just hover when they jump, but this way you kind of have to float onto it. So I'm gonna move the sled so I don't get impaled. Pause, now that the risk of being impaled is smaller. Same thing, we're gonna just start the exact same, that cross behind, open up, power in, and just float. Number 7, we're going a rear foot elevated lateral hurdle jump. So this one I really like because as we've kind of been talking about, it trains the ability to absorb lateral forces and push out. So if we can be really efficient on both feet with this, that's gonna help when we're out actually having to do this full speed. Okay, so we're gonna have one foot up. I like to use a box for this boxer bench. One foot up, this one is doing the work. So we're just gonna jump over and back, stay controlled, be stable when you do this, squeeze your glutes, right? That's gonna help. Same thing out on the field when we're hitting our lateral transitions. You gotta use everything, okay? So I'm just gonna be here and I'm just gonna jump back and forth. Just like that. So hopefully some of these exercises help you. Remember, the better we are at our transitions, the better we can be getting out. So really work on those right there. So if you enjoy this, please give a thumbs up, please subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.